What's up, guys? Welcome to this latest episode of the Mufasa Sports Club. As you already know, I am your host, Mufasa, and I just want to continue encouraging everybody to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, make sure you share it within your community. Let's continue to grow this channel. We're going to be talking about the Game 2 of the NBA Finals today between the Pacers and the Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder come out with the win and tie the series to 1-1 going to Game 3. And I think the difference in this game as opposed to Game 1 has been the fact that the Thunder didn't take the foot off the gas in this game. As I said in my previous video, the only way, quite honestly, to beat this Pacers team is by blowing them out. This game ends by 123 to 107, and like I said, they just never really took their feet off the gas. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been more efficient today as opposed to last game where he took way more shots than this game where he only took 21 shots as opposed to 30. In the past game, has been more productive on defense, ends up with 3 or 4 steals, but more importantly, his supporting cast with Jalen Williams, J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren also contributed. You got Chet Holmgren with 15 points and Jalen Williams with 19 points today. So core of the Pacers, the Thunder has been really efficient. And you got a guy like Alex Caruso that I can never cease to praise, coming off the bench with, I think 20 points tonight? Yeah, 20 points for Alex Caruso, and still being impactful in terms of, defensive plays, offensive rebounds, and, the whole bit that we know about the Thunder defense being so aggressive and active hands and deflections and all these different stuff that we use with this Thunder defense. I mentioned in my past video that they remind me of a football team, a football defense, a great NFL team defense, where not only do they have active hands, but they're always looking for that punch on the ball, that deflection and things like that. So great work by the Thunder, great work by Mike Daigneault, the head coach, by not only sticking in his belief of starting off Isaiah Hartenstein off the bench, who comes in and then brings in that playmaking ability that he has that is underrated, but also these rebounds that he's able to bring off of that second unit. Them going small, even though I was a little skeptical about it in Game 1, is actually paying off now, because it helped stop Pascal Siakam on those transition points that the Pacers are also really good at. And having a double big lineup reduces your speed, so having just Chet Holmgren playing at the 5, especially when he's hitting those threes, helps in limiting the damages coming from a guy like Pascal Siakam in transition offense, because now you can add a guy like Cason Wallace, who is like a defensive mind guard, but who can also add on to the speed of the game. So great job by Mike Daigneault on sticking to his belief, but also having the right rotations in play and digging into his bench with a guy like Aaron Wiggins tonight, for instance, who hasn't played much in the game. In the previous game, in Game 1, he only played 9 minutes, and tonight Wiggins comes in and plays 21 minutes and is really efficient. He scores 18 points with 5 3-point shots that he scores, and really also super efficient on the defensive end with Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton rotating and all this stuff. So really great job by the Oklahoma City Thunder. I was expecting them to come out more dominant tonight, and also with a sense of urgency, because you don't want to go down 0-2 at home like the Knicks did with this Pacers team. So nothing really surprising out there. But one thing that I also want to point out is Tyrese Haliburton on the Pacers side. he needs to come out way more aggressive. If you are the number one option on your team and also a max player, you can't just have those um, weird nights where you're not really aggressive. You have to be aggressive, especially in the NBA Finals. And I think I'm expecting him to be way more aggressive, especially playing at home in front of his home crowd and all this stuff. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the Pacers actually come out in Game Three. Are they throwing the first punches, or are they just laying back and responding again? I think the best option would be to come out, guns blazing and try to take the lead and be super aggressive, and that has to start with Tyrese Haliburton. And on top of also Pascal Siakam, who's been really great for this Pacers team. I think they need to play off more on Pascal Siakam and exploit all these different mismatches that could happen with Siakam. Their supporting cast, those role players, whether it's like Aaron Nesmith, TJ McConnell, Andrew Nembhard, who's still playing really well, saving Haliburton from these ball handling tasks on some possessions. He's still playing well, playing really good. I think that it's pretty common that role players play better at home. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how these Pacers are really going to respond playing back at Gainbridge in Indiana. I think it's really important for them to get Game 2, and why not just secure home court advantage again and not give it back to the Thunder by taking both games 3 and 4 at home. But it's the Thunder is a team that can also, they travel well, so they can win. They can definitely win win a game or two in Indiana, which is why my prediction of this thing ending in 5 is still in play, even though it's going to be difficult. But I still have the Thunder winning this whole thing. I just think, like I said, they just have a better roster overall. And for Indiana to have a chance, you got to have guys like Obi Toppin, who's been really under the radar tonight. He hasn't really been efficient, whether it's from the three-point line or even driving into the basket. He has a great athletic ability, and I don't think he's been really maximizing that. So this is going to be on Rick Carlisle to draw up some plays and make sure that Obi Toppin gets involved and is efficient. TJ McConnell as well has to be coming just like he usually does and bring that spark on the Pacers end for them to hopefully win a game 3, and possibly a game 4. I really don't know, to be honest with you guys, what the outcome of game 3 is going to be. I think it's going to be a very interesting game, a hard-fought battle, and psychologically, as you hear me talk about momentum all the time, I think it's going to be a very momentum-shifted game, depending on who wins it. I think if the Pacers do go and win game 3, they get that momentum back and get super confident for game 4. And same with the Thunder. So it's gonna be interesting, like I've been saying, to see what the outcome of this game is going to be. And I just think it's gonna be fun to see what adjustments each head coach comes in with for these games. I think with the Pacers, like I've been saying, the adjustment will be trying to get Obi Toppin more involved in this game. Also having guys like Benedict Mathurin coming off the bench, being more efficient and more productive. Same with TJ McConnell, like I was saying. It's gonna be really important for these guys to hit the threes and be dominant when they get into the game, and bringing that spark that they usually bring. The defense on the Pacers side has not really been mentioned much during these finals, and even during the Knicks series as well, because I remember last year there was a lot of talks about how Indiana is really bad on defense, but I think they really took an extra step and have been really good in terms of defense this year. And it's all credit to guys like Andrew Nembhard, who's been doing a really good job on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Aaron Nesmith, really good defender, and also the productivity that they have on the offensive side. So, it's going to be interesting to see what those adjustments are going to be. I'm really excited to see Game 3 of these NBA Finals. So, we're just going to be here giving you guys our breakdown of what this game is going to be, and hopefully we get to have an extended series with maybe the Pacers winning on Game 3, and then who knows, trying to drag this series to 6 or 7. Why not? It's just going to be interesting to watch. And on the Thunder side, is going to be crucial for the role players as well to come out on the road and try to assert themselves. Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, can he have another game where he's really efficient from the three-point line? Cason Wallace, can he be really dominant on the road? It's going to be really interesting to see how the Thunder role players also travel in a hostile environment and see how they react to the crowd out there. So I think on the Oklahoma City Thunder part, it's going to be also interesting to see how these role players come out and deliver, whether it's Chet Holmgren, who also has that tendency to disappear in the game and not play to his size. I'm not sure why this guy sometimes does not play more in the paint, and just all these tall dudes are now trying to be Kevin Durant, and it just makes no sense to me. If you're a 7-foot dude, you gotta play as close as possible from the basket because you have the height advantage, and it's just easy baskets for you on that end. But it's just the nature of the NBA right now. So we'll see how it goes. But Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, I have no doubts about Alex Caruso coming out with this fire again and being efficient. So we'll see how it goes on that end with the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. On that note, that's pretty much all I have for tonight, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and stay positive and take care, guys. Ciao.